This is a raw life, could only lead to no life. This is a raw life, could only lead to no life.
Let me break it down. Hustling on the street corners, late nights, always on edge. No one really cares about you. Fake friends, fake people all around.
Yo, welcome to the TheC1Sho show. Episode 5. Damn, we're at episode 5 already. Yeah. But first, you know how we always start this. Manners and respect for everyone that's supporting. You know, as I always say, the DMs, the messages. And things are only getting better, you know. Things are only getting better. You know, I speak to a lot of people be messaging me, giving their opinions, and some of their opinions don't count. But you know what? To be fair, everybody's opinion count. And you know what's crazy as well, guys? I've also been seeing a lot of different content lately. You know, and one thing with the content creators that are out there and the man them that's doing what they're doing. You know what I mean? You gotta give them respect for the consistency. Do you know what I mean? Like, I gotta give them a bit of respect. I can't always be saying, oh, this, that. But, you know, you gotta give them respect for their consistency, their drive. Because at the end of the day, whether people like their content or like anyone's content, not in specific anybody, whether the audience or the public like your content, it takes a lot to build this content and, you know, stay consistent. Especially for people that ain't making money at the time. So you have to respect all of the content creators' consistency. Yeah, I have to big them up for that. I see Clue doing some good stuff as well. I see he's flipped it up, doing some really good content. It might be different. The views will be slower, as I said. But it's good that I've seen a lot of people changing up the content at the same time. You still got to do what you got to do to eat. But at the same time, I think that it's good that we're trying to grow. Everybody's trying to grow, and there's a lot of skillful people like that's really clever with words. So don't waste your words on foolishness. So this show here. What's this show gonna be about today? Today, I'm gonna change the tempo. Today, yeah. I'm gonna change the tempo and I'm gonna bring the lights down a bit lower. We're not even going to go into the haterade drinkers. As I said, we're going to leave them today because we're going to turn the temperature down. We're going to turn the tempo down, should I say. Actually, and turn the temperature down because you know what? We're going to give it a little bit more of a deeper conversation today, guys. This one will probably get less views because it's more deeper. But as I said, we're not here for the views. So we're going to more go into life. Life's kicking us all in the nuts. And in other parts for the ladies. Life. So we're going to get into a few things. And a lot of people are saying to me, see, we need you to talk more about business. We want to learn more about business. We want to learn more about how did you do this and how do you do that? And why don't you speak about the businesses that you have, okay? And I'll tell you why I don't speak about the business I have. Because throughout the last 10, 12 years, the haters come out. So when they understand your business, they go on forums, they talk bad of you. I've had people phoning my offices saying I'm this, I'm that, threatening my staff on the phone. If someone posts me or I post them, they will go and contact the businesses, not knowing that I'm the actual shareholders in most of these businesses, and a lot of the businesses that you guys actually support, you don't even know it's me behind them. So be careful, guys. Be mindful how you promote your businesses because there's still a lot of guys, a lot of people out here that, you know, are trying to destroy things. But as I said, this was a long time ago. So I will be going into the business I currently have, the business I currently own and how they are structured. But I want to go into... Actually, I want to give a shout out first to Gavin. Gavin is my business partner and a big bro to me. And he's one of the first people that kind of said to me, well, not the first, but one that I believed in said to me, you know what, see, you're sharp. You can do business. He took me to New York one time. And I'm not going to go into that story because I'll save it. But we was running wild over there. And he pulled me to the side and said, you know, we went to have a big meeting. And he said to me, see, you did really well in that meeting. I said, did I? And he said, yeah. He said, you're very sharp. You're too sharp to be around the people that you're around. And ever since that day, me and him, he kind of not mentored me, but always gave me the truth about life, the truth about my friends. And just really, you should just make sure that I understood that I had a mission in front of me and I could do something different. So I want to big up Gavin, my business partner. We have the one of the biggest R&B promotion companies, events. It was our USP till everybody stole them, but we're not going to talk about that right now, but we will be talking about it. You know, people that came and stole it and kicked us out of Wembley Arena and this and that, and they stole our whole USP and ran with it, and they weren't even from the culture. Imagine that. But people still support them. But anyway, we're not here to hate, we're here to congratulate. Wherever they feel good in doing, let them do. So yeah, big up Gavin, Reese, you know what I mean? Big them both up. So where are we gonna go from here? So we're gonna talk about sales. We're gonna talk about sales because sales and marketing is one of the key things you need in your business. Now, lucky for me, I've always understood sales and I've always understood marketing. But let me tell you guys a little story. Here I go again with these stories. But let me tell you something about this story in regards to how I learned to sell. And when I say sell, let's think Wolf of Wall Street. Let's think Wolf of Wall Street, on the phones, fast ways of selling, floors, brokerages, Wall Street. Okay, let's just spew that. Suits, okay? And this is a very cool way to learn to sell high ticket prices, low ticket prices, cold calling. You know, you gotta have big balls and you gotta have a lot of patience and you gotta be gutsy, okay, to be sales. Because one thing about sales, when you're in the job of sales, you cannot hide because there's targets that you have to meet. And when you don't meet them, it makes you feel very uncomfortable. So let me tell you the story about how I learned how to go into sales, learn how to sell, which allowed me to evolve in the business world before I was even properly in the business world. So, guys, we get a phone call. I get a phone call from one of my other guys, you know, a guy from East. And he says to me, see, like there's some guys, they're from Bromley. I'm not going to say no names, but they're doing really well for themselves. They got one of the biggest floors, brokerages. Their investment company for wine, selling wine, investing in wine. I didn't even know you could invest in wine at the time, but investing in wine and investing in diamonds. They have one of the biggest broker floors, and they're getting a little bit of trouble. There's a few bullies. Yeah, there's a few bullies around, and they're really, you know, causing them havoc. So the guy that owns it is my good friend's son. Grandson. So can we go over there and see what's going on and to see what if we can help them out or not? So I said, okay. So done a few investigation and people was telling me, yo, these guys, they got Lambos outside, they got Ferraris. Like basically, when you went outside their office, there was about 20 Lamborghinis and Ferraris and everything. A lot of you guys are gonna know what I'm talking about. So anyway, I didn't want to go up there as the same black type, you know, so, you know, dressed up, you know, rented a Maybach, and we jump in the Maybach and we fly over there. So we fly over there, we meet the guys, you know, we're greeted at the door, we're talking away. So after he tells me what's going on and the pressure that's been going on, they'll be sending people to stand outside. You know, the other day, one of them tried to do something that was very silly to one of them, okay? So we're all speaking in a room, and then after, the main guy, let's just call him Jay. Let's just call him Jay, okay? So Jay says to me after, look, see, I don't really want all of your guys here, but I wouldn't mind if you come. You can come in the office because I feel you could fit in. So I weren't really understood what you're saying when you're saying that I could fit in. The other guys are a bit more bulky, a bit more darker skin. So I said, fine. We left. My guys were saying, yeah, see, just make sure you go, just to go up there. And I was thinking, I don't want to go to this place and people come there and I'm in there by myself. But it is what it is. So anyway, let's get to the selling point. So we're inside this place. This guy was very smart at how the brain works, right? So he had his sales team, and within his sales team, he had he had vision boards, and on the vision boards you would put everything you'd really like, whether it was a Rolex, whether it was a Rolls Royce, a Ferrari, whatever you wanted. He gave everybody vision boards, know them, but it was like a picture that kept changing, like a video tablet, and you put your visions on there. And then he gave everybody a book, and inside this book, I can't remember what he spoke, it really showed you how the mentality worked, how the brain worked, how people think. And he handed me this book, and I started reading it. So anyway, in the end, I started coming in every day, flinging on a suit, going down there, watching the guys perform, listening on the monitor, because obviously, you know, when you do sales, what happens is that because the FCA regulated, what usually happens is that you can't make your sales agents go wide. And going wide means that you cannot promise and you cannot guarantee. So you basically listen to your staff just in case if they do go wide, the authorities are going to come around when a person complains that they've been frauded or whatever they may complain about. You have to have these tapes available. So I used to listen all the time to these guys selling. So one day, the guy says to me, "Why don't you have a try?" You know, I'm Mr. Cool at this stage, so I don't really want to try and have a try in front of everybody. But what I did do, I took the disc and I took it home and I started listening to how they were selling. You know, "Hi, how are you? What if I told you that I could give you an investment that could triple anything you already have, whether it's in this place or that place? This is for you, but okay?" That was a sales pitch. So anyway, one day we finish and me and my man starts rolling a little bit more, you know. He starts telling me about, you know, how he built his company, So I'm really getting into sales, and I'm understanding sales, you need to have an opener and a closer. Because, see, you can have two different people. Some people are great at great opening, but they don't have the killer instinct to sell, to close. See, you got a killer instinct to close. And some people are great at closing, but they're not good at opening. So it's for you as the sales manager or the CEO of the company to figure out who does what the best, okay? So I was learning this, but in the meantime, I was learning to be an opener and a closer. Because my personality has always been closing, okay? But opening, I was more of a private type person, more quiet. And I had men around me that was more the louder one that people felt more comfortable to approach. They wouldn't tell me what's going on and I would close the deals. So he sits down with me one day and he says to me, "C, can I have a conversation with you?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "I really like you coming down here and I think you can go further." I said, "Yeah, but you know what? When am I getting paid for this type of stuff? When am I getting paid?" So he says to me, "Can I ask you a question, please? I don't want you to take offense." So I said, "What's this guy going to say now?" So he goes to me, "Can that come out?" I said, "Can what come out?" He said, "Can that come out?" And I look at him and because I used to have gold teeth, right? I had a gold teeth right at the front of my mouth. He goes, "No offense." I said, "No, it can't come out." I said, "Why?" He goes, "Because you've got a good face. So if you took that gold teeth out, you could go a lot further in life." And I didn't know if that was racist. I didn't know if it was disrespectful. But it something went in my brain, ping, because he was like, you could go further in life because your image doesn't suit who you are. So after when I went home, I was thinking about that over and over. Like, what did he mean by my image didn't suit who I am? And by keeping gold teeth in my mouth was giving people the stereotype that could allow people not to do business with me, okay? So this is when I knew that I wanted to work on myself. And this is what I'm saying, guys, to the newer generation. You really have to work on yourself. And this is when I realized I did. You know what I did? I went and got my gold tooth removed. And from that day, I realized that there was something inside me that really wanted to change my life around. So I've now learned for him how to sell, etc. Anyway, speed up the story. Things went a little bit pear-shaped inside there. You know, they had the FCA regulators all over them. They had people was reporting them. People was coming around there because I had all the cars outside. And in the end, me and him parted our ways because I was like, you know, I don't really want to be in this building as the only black guy and something going wrong in it. And next thing you know, I'm in handcuffs. So I'm going to make a move. But when I left, I left with knowledge. I left with a lot of knowledge that somebody else that wanted to be ignorant or thought they was tough would never have took on. Get rid of your gold tooth. You've learned how to speak properly. You now know what sales are. Now take what you've learned and apply it to other walks of life. And that's what I was able to do. Now I was equipped to go out there and sell. And while I was equipped to go out there and sell, I started to do other things within the businesses. And I can go into the businesses that I went into, but I won't bore you with that. But what I will say is one of those businesses I took and I applied it to sales floors. So I was going around and I was starting to train staff. So people didn't know that what I was doing, I was learning my trade. But as I was learning my trade, I was going into other places and helping change their businesses around. This was before I actually blew up. So I would go into, so just so you know, this would be my job. I would go into a sales floor and I would speak to all the sales agents. And my thing was always this: when you was cold calling, majority of them would get disheartened. And the reason why you get disheartened when you was cold calling, because every time you call someone and say, no, thank you, put the phone down. Oh, this is something like, no, thank you. No, thank you. So a lot of people couldn't take the pressure, as I said, because the sales game is all about pressure, okay? So what I used to say to them, I used to say, write down your objectives, write down what you think they're going to say no to, write down what your objectives, meaning that what you're going to say when they say that, so you can get past that as an objective. And then write down that today you want to get 50 no's. And people say, what do you mean by 50 no's? So when you get, if you say I'm working today and I want 50 no's, you don't get disheartened when you're just calling up. You're saying, okay, I've had 10 no's today. I need another 20. I need another 30. And before you know, I say to the guys, how much no's have we got today? And they'll be like, oh yeah, we got this amount. I'll be like, okay, well you should know that that you're about to get a yes. So anyway, my background story behind that is I falsely dropped into a situation to learn to sell. And I wasn't arrogant or ignorant enough to go in there. And when they told me that, you know, I had to wear a suit and I had to look a certain way and I had to speak a certain way and I had to sit in the corner over there and I could just listen to the tapes because they didn't want us to intimidate the office, I did it. And I just want you guys to remember that you know what, work on yourself. And this is what I'm saying. I said this to you before. I don't think there's another person that worked on themselves more than me. I removed my gold teeth. I removed my attitude. I was going to do whatever it took, meaning learn enough skills to be able to take it into the real world and execute them. Yeah, and execute them. So I always understood in the back of my head about life. Life is about selling or being sold, right? You can always sell, just don't sell your soul. So moving away from that, push that to the side, as I always say. Let's talk about the game of life, yeah. Because selling is playing the game and selling the game. As I say to people, when they keep asking me about my life and my stories, what do I tell them? My story is to be sold, not told. Ching ching, kasha kasha. You know, no gossiping. No gossiping. We don't care. Hashtag, we don't care. We want money. Push that to the side, back to the story. So anyway, guys, this thing called life, it's a game. Life is a game. And if you think when you was growing up, think about all the games, the board games, all the games you played. Was that not training us for life? When I sit down and I think, these are just my thoughts, okay? Was this not training us for life? You have to make the right moves, right? Sometimes you got to throw the dice, depending on what number you get. You might even get lucky and go up a ladder, but you got to be careful if you hit a snake. Are you following me? You might get out of jail free card, but you might not be able to go around and you might not be able to pass go. Check that again. You might get out of free card, jail card, but you might not make it to collect your £100 and pass go. You know? You have to make the right moves on the board, don't you? So what is that telling us from then? It was always a game we play. And why I tell you this is because if you know that the game is there to be played, then make sure you play to win. Because a lot of us ain't playing to win, are we? What do you play for? Because I know why I'm playing. I know why I'm training. I know why I think. You have to know also when to stop playing. Let's just take the console, the computer console. What is that? Another game, right? So you put the game into the console, the computer console, PlayStation, let's just call it PS5. You put it in. And some people play the same game and play the same game, but it's okay to take the game out and throw it to the side. Sometimes you get a game and you're not good at it. Some of them you're not actually good at it, some of the games. But some of them you actually are. And what happens in this game of life is that you keep playing the same game, that you keep clocking and you keep winning on this game. But because of your ego, you just keep playing. And you've clocked this game already now. But guess what happens? When you play this game now, you have less concentration. And now you're losing on levels that you never used to lose on before. Yeah. The game you used to clock, you are now losing on levels that you never used to lose before. Now you can't beat the big boss. Now you're taking lives to beat the big boss. Now you're back on level 3. And you know why that is? Because you're too comfortable instead of just taking that game, throwing it to the side and putting in another game and playing it. I've played many games. Some of them I've lost, some of them I've won. But the game that I play now is the game of life. And I'm on a worldwide. I'm playing it worldwide. And guess what? There's many levels still for me to get there. And I'm fine with playing on level 4, level 5, because I know when I get to level 10, I know what it takes to get there. Because I know about playing the game of life. These people that don't understand the game of life could never play me. Because I'm playing to win, right? So I'm playing to win. So just remember that, guys. We're out here. We're all out here together playing the game of life. So you know what time it is now, right? It's the voice note.
What was the hardest thing about running your own business?
What was the hardest thing of running my own business? Well, let me tell you something. The hardest thing of me running my own business, it always hard. I'm not even going to say it wasn't, but the key thing that stands out for me is hiring staff. Yeah. I think hiring staff was one of the hardest things I had to learn, because I had never had a job before myself. So I actually didn't understand how the process went within hiring staff. So I didn't really know that when people was coming to get the job, they was actually lying to me. They were there to lie. They was there to make me believe them so they could just give me the job. So I could give them the job. I was reading through these CVs and I was kind of shocked, because it's like a lot of these things on their CVs. It's like, well, you used to want to be a lawyer or say something else, and now you want to work for me in a PR company. You know what I mean? So a lot of people that did go and get their degrees and did go to university, a lot of them, their CVs was totally opposite, or their education was totally opposite of what they were actually looking for. So they would come inside my office and, they would give me the good spiel, and I would think, yeah, great, fantastic, we want to hire these guys. But as time get on, I started to learn more now how to interview staff, and actually seeing that they was lying to me, and the wages that they asked for. And, what I was saying before is, when it came to sales, it was a lot more easier, because what happens is that, we rather give them a basic. We'll give them a basic, and then they'll have their commissions. So if they don't work hard enough, or I don't think that they're warranting the basic, I will not be able to give them a higher commission. Where if they come in, they want a lower basic because they know they can sell, which means that then they can have a higher commission, right? So what would happen is, come in and they would just try and get a big basic, and we would end up paying for them. So I remember one time, a guy comes into the office. And, it's gassed up. The whole office is gassed up because she's come through. She said, oh, guess what? We've got someone coming down that used to work for Nike. And they was head of marketing in Nike. They've done this. So we was gassed. So he comes in, he sits down. Imagine a guy that has worked for Nike for 20 years. He's now asking for a job of someone like me. So this is what I'm saying. For the younger generation and for people, you never know how you can change your life around the type of people you'll be able to speak with, or you could be hiring. So this guy, he basically comes, he asks for this big money, and we give him it straight away, because we think, because he worked for Nike, he could do this for our company. But what we didn't realize is that it's not as easy as that. Just when he worked for Nike, the phone rings, people pick it up. When you work for me, you ring people, they don't answer, they don't get back to you. So it's not as easy to be able to make them execute the work that they could do before. So were they actually good at their job, or was it because who they was working for, a big brand? So yeah, not gonna go too long on it. That was my hardest thing, or one of the hardest things about running my own business, was hiring good staff and loyal staff, because obviously they're always going to be loyal to the check, and just really understanding how the process is to hire staff. And there's a lot of rules and regulations that go for the employee instead of the employer. Next question.
Who do you think started UK street rap?
Oh, who do I think started UK street rap? You know what, I'm going to give honourable mentions to a lot of people, because it just depends on what you're looking for. See, it depends how you look at these things, right? Because to me, someone could start rapping or doing this street rap, but they only 10 people heard them, but they did it 20 years before the other person. Does that mean they invented it? Or is you starting something more about how much people you touched and more about your reach? I believe that the first is always the people. No, the first is never the first you see. I always believe there's someone behind it, but then there's people that will get to the masses, and the reach will become more bigger. And there's different times, you know, when we was coming through as North Star, and obviously you got street raps, you know, you're going to put PDC in there, the South guys, and you're going to put SMS in there. But I feel like SMS and PDC, both my brothers, big up Judge, Eel Mills, it was a bit different, because that was more like estate rap. I call it more estate rap, where there's loads of guys standing there, and I feel like they more came up on the DVDs, you know, yeah, Bang Bang Anywhere Gang, and people was watching that side more than the music. And, you know, as I said, the state rap, the way they dressed, the things they was doing, and I'm not sure, they can correct me, okay? And I'm not saying this in any way, but I'm not sure if it translated across out of South. You know, the Muslim thing was deep within that, so that gave them a lot more publicity, and they was good rappers, and they had their own street anthems, right? But did it translate into other areas? Like in North, not really. You know, in West, you got to remember, West, them guys are bougie. Them guys dress up. Those guys dress nice. They like good, nice clothes. They like diamonds. Yeah. And, you know, East, so there's different ways of talking about street rap. But and then you got to even say from South, what they forget, people say, you got to big up Mike GLC. Of course you got to big up Mike GLC. I don't think Mike GLC gets mentioned because he isn't from a crew or from an estate. But you got to also remember Street Dreams, Kuba and them. You know, the Elsbys lot, they were doing little bits and pieces in the music. So they was there as well, and Mike was being funded through them, and Mike was always doing these things. So big up Mike GLC, that's man's brother. You got to give an honourable mention to Cream Cartel. They did a lot. They gave us some of our biggest hits. Big up Barry. Barry gave us some of our biggest hits with Para. And Shabs gave us big hits as well. He actually produced This Is Our Time and Love Like This. But anyway, back to the question. So who do I think started it? I think you got to give the South lot a mention, and you got to give North Star a big mention. And the reason why I'm going to say North Star, people say, oh, you probably would, is because I feel like we crossed over more than any of them others. We was outside, we was in all the raves, we was in all the clubs, but at the same time, we was number one on Channel U. As I said, we was battling against grime, like more on a commercial level. I think we appealed and translated to a lot more areas like West, South, East, West, and all up the motorway, because people already knew us from going out clubbing and Iron Apple and the way we was dressing. And as I said, and it translated because, you know, we had the dependents, we had the jewelry, we had the cars, we was more flamboyant. And I hear that people coming in 2010 and 9 and talking about they were the first ones. Go back to the Love Like This video and see the chinchilla that I was wearing. Most of your rappers after me wore that jacket. And I got that jacket because I saw 50 Cent in it in Candy Shop. So the question is, I feel like there was Demon Boys or whatever from Tottenham that used to rap. So yeah, to cut a long story short, I feel like we elevated it in the mainstream, being on radio, being on MTV base, and we made it a lot wider audience. And then obviously Giggs came, and Giggs is probably the first one from actual streets to actually get signed. But again, if you look at Giggs' profile, he was more 2006, 2007, 2008 when Spray was doing mixtapes, whereas Spray didn't have as much success commercially than when we was all with North Star. So North Star's era is the actual Channel U TV era, where a lot of these other guys are YouTube era where people get mixed up. So I'll definitely say that a lot of the South guys, PDC, SMS, North Star, a lot of us are at the beginning. There's some names I forgot, but you guys are definitely in it. But you have to translate more than just your area for me to say you started something. You have to translate over to other areas. I don't care if you just good in that little bit of Hackney or that little bit of Bow or wherever you're from, or Neasden, whatever. You have to translate. So for me, it was definitely the names that I said. That's what I believe. Next question.
Hi. Why do you think less people are getting married in the world today? What's going on?
Why is less people in the world getting married today? Do you really want me to get into this? It's I think that it's because of gender roles, and I don't really want to go into gender roles too much because, I am very old school. I'm a very old school real man. I do believe in looking after your woman, leading the way, making her feel protected. And I also believe in a woman being your backbone and her executing her side of the job to make sure that a man's able to go out there and perform. And when I say a man's job is very hard, especially if he looks after his family. So a man needs his woman to be able to do the things that he can't, and she needs her man to be able to do the things he can. So we're living in a time where the gender roles are mixed up, right? So don't you remember when girls, you can answer this question, right? Used to be like, oh, I hate my man because he always talks about money. I don't really like him. He always talks about money. But guess what? Now, most females, the first thing a female says is, I don't need a man. I got my own money. I don't need this. I got my own money. I drive my own car. So all of a sudden, the gender is changed around. Now she's just talking about money. And the thing is, with regards to the marriage thing, which is very sad, I'm 44 years of age, right? And I've been to more funerals than weddings. Imagine that. I've been to more funerals than weddings. People ain't getting married now. Is it because of religion? Is it not enough religion in the household now? Where before, everybody went to church. If you had sex before, it was a sin. You couldn't just say, a woman couldn't just have sex with a guy and just be like, oh, well, why are you calling me for? Like, you don't own me. You don't do this. She couldn't speak that way because she'd be seen as a Jezebel, right? So it comes back down to before a woman you'd have to get a boyfriend, and then from your boyfriend, from your friend into a boyfriend, and from a boyfriend, then engaged to marriage, right? Before you could even go inside her house. And a lot of it was based on religion and sinning. So once you take the religion out of the equation, the marriage becomes more distant. And then you put the gender roles in place, and a lot of the next generation, like our grandparents, it was very much the women and the men were grown up to be husbands and to be wives, okay? That's what our parents, grandparents were told, and that's what they taught us. Where the parents and the parents of the kids now, I won't say kids, like our age group, it was very much to the ladies, go and get your education first. Don't let no man control you. Do your own thing. You don't want to be with a man and then when he leaves you, you got nothing. It's very much drilled into their head that you don't need to be a wife. You need to marry about yourself and your career and your money. So as time goes on and generations change, you can see that it's filtered through, and the wedding and the marriage and everything just got further away. And girls are more I'm more masculine. I'm more a man. I'm more, I don't need to be married. I don't need no man. And it's just been going left all the way, and until they're now like, okay, we can sleep with whoever we want. No one can tell us what to do. So that's to me why marriage is further away, and then there's much more options now. So if this ain't working, so okay, I'm getting 5-10 likes of this Instagram, and I can see that this person likes me, or this guy now he's gassed because he's for the first time he ain't got shit, and he can pretend to be someone that he's not on Instagram, and like girls are liking his pictures, and he's getting gassed thinking that they actually like him, and mash up his relationship for a couple of likes. And these times they don't even like him. Do you know what I mean? So that's my answer to that, guys. I just feel that there's less marriages because I don't feel that there's a lot of religion involved. And I don't feel that the women and men of today have been grown up to be husbands and grown up to be wives. Guys, that's the end of the voice note. So back to what I was saying about sales in a business, right? Push that to the side. Let's just quickly talk about this sales thing again, because I've got Warren here. And Warren's going to now take you through affiliated marketing. See, the affiliated marketing and sales, as I said, they go hand in hand together. So if you got a business, as I said, let's not forget to click the link below, because I see a lot of people have been buying those courses. Alhamdulillah. Thank you. You know, buying them courses. And this isn't just for me, it's for you guys. Do you know what I mean? This is blood, sweat, and tears we put into these things. And there's many free gifts, a lot of directories, a lot of numbers that you guys don't forget after watching the videos. Take a look down there. And just see what you like. There's plenty of little courses there. I've been getting loads of message about the Toro video and how they've started their own company and they're making money, which makes me smile. As we said, we don't care, we want money. So what? Once again, take the floor.
Appreciate it, C. Welcome back to the We Want Money part of the show, guys, and the part where we show you how to get ahead, digital marketing, abundance, all of that good stuff, and kind of show you the tips, tricks, and techniques on how to kind of figure out this whole online stuff and make some money from it, right? We want money. So this week, right, I want you to be honest. We all use social media, okay? We're all addicted to social media, yeah? Most people scroll social media for hours, right? But they never make even a pound from it. But what if you could get paid to post, right? Would you be open to learning how? Let's jump into it. So this week, we're talking about affiliate marketing. Now, some of you may have heard of affiliate marketing, some of you may have not. But affiliate marketing is earning money by recommending products online, okay? Now, I got a question. When you go to the cinema, like I love going to the cinema. I go to watch the Marvel films. We go to watch like horror films. All sorts of different films exist at the cinema. Now, every time I go to the cinema, I'll watch a film. And then I'll go home and I might speak to someone on the phone about it or tell them, they might ask me, you know, what did you do at the weekend? I'll be like, yeah, I went to see, I don't know, Iron Man, right? If that person then goes to watch Iron Man as well based on my recommendation because I said it was a good movie, does Odeon send me a thank you commission for referring that person to go into the movies to watch it? They don't. Right? But essentially, that's what affiliate marketing is. You're getting paid to recommend and promote other products to other people, right? Because it's something that we all do naturally anyway. We're all social beings. We're all social creatures. We're constantly sharing with other people what we're doing, where we went to eat, what we bought, you know, what we watched, what song we downloaded. We're constantly doing it. But none of these big companies are sending us checks to do the recommending for them or doing the referrals for them. But this is where affiliate marketing changes things. So we're getting paid to promote these companies' products and we earn a commission every sale. Okay, so we don't need to create our own product. We just continue doing what we're naturally doing already, but we get a check for it. Okay, so in one simple sentence, affiliate marketing is just earning money by recommending products online. Okay, now who am I? My name is Warren. I'm a digital assets consultant. I've worked in this space for in the past 10 years in Amazon FBA, e-commerce, digital marketing, and other markets as well. I've built and sold multiple online digital assets, and I've almost got 100k followers total across all platforms, teaching and speaking about digital marketing. It's something that I'm passionate about, right? And I say this not to impress you, but again to impress upon you that digital assets like affiliate marketing are just the future, right? And this is how you get a cut of your slice of the pie, okay? So in one sentence again, affiliate marketing is just turning attention into income, okay? And so how it works, breakdown. So you get to sign up to a platform that will give you your own link. Now, this link is trackable. So when you put it in your social media or you send it through WhatsApp, the company knows that it's your link. So whatever the customer then goes on to buy, you get a percentage of whatever they buy. That's how the company tracks your commission. Okay, so you share it using something called a PS method. And I love the PS method because it essentially allows anybody to do this, right? And what is the PS method? The PS method is this. You see how you go to a restaurant and you'll take a picture of your food, right? Or you'll go to a nightclub or a bar and you'll take a picture of you and your friends. You just continue living how you've been living, right? You continue doing what you're doing and posting on social media how you naturally do, whether you're taking a picture of your dog or your dog's going for a walk or whatever. However, at the end of every caption, you put your caption, oh, my dog looks lovely in this, but you put PS, tap the link in my bio to go and get da-da-da-da-da, right? PS, tap the link in my bio to go and get your free Odeon tickets, or tap the link in my bio to go and get da-da-da-da-da. Whatever you've signed up to promote, you PS it, and this way you don't have to create a brand new page, you don't have to create a brand new niche product. Like, you're not changing anything that you're already doing. You're simply living your life, taking pictures of your scrambled eggs in the morning or whatever it is that you like to post. But at the end of every post, in the description box, you put PS, tap the link to go and get da-da-da-da-da. Now, I've done this myself and it works really well. I've had clients that do this and it works really well as well. And the beautiful thing about this is that everyone can do it, because we all can type PS, we all can add a link to our description box, and we're all constantly promoting and sharing things with our friends and families anyway. So why not get paid for it? And like I said, affiliate marketing is for everybody. And in one sentence, it's content, link, sell equals commission. Now, why affiliate marketing? What's the like? It's been around for a while, right? But what's so good about it, and the reason why I love it, is because, again, no product creation. You don't have to have inventory, like stacks of boxes sitting in your house. There's no customer service, because whatever you promote to your people, they're gonna go and buy it from the company. There's no startup cost. It's free. Your link from the company is gonna be free. Your social media was free to create the account. All of the people that you know, you didn't have to pay to know them. They're already following you. Everything is free. So when I get asked, oh, what's the easiest thing to start online with no money? This is it. This is it, because you're essentially doing this anyway. But Odeon, Gucci, BMW, whatever restaurants you like to go to, Nando's, they're not paying you. Right? They're not paying you to recommend these things, but now you're going to start to get paid, right? So you can start making money online with just a content and a link, right? And one thing I do want you to notice or kind of be mindful of is just that there's some niches that are more profitable than others, right? So some of the top niches at the minute are beauty and fashion. So if you're a girl or a lady or a woman and you're into makeup, you know, aligning yourself with a makeup company or whatever is going to be good. If you're a parent, most of us are, you know, newborn care is good, parenting tips, personal development, stuff like goal setting, motivation, you know, if you like that kind of thing. You got home decor, maybe you're renovating your house, maybe you got a property that you're renovating, maybe you're working with a friend and they're renovating their house. Things like that work really well. And also travel. We all love to travel, right? So you could do budget traveling, luxury destinations, wherever you go. You can just post, you know, you've got old photos and videos of you in other countries sitting in your phone. Why not repost them, say, PS, link in my bio to go and get one of these products or whatever, right? And this is how you're going to turn attention into income. And you're probably thinking, well, what companies? How do I find these companies? It's simple. You go to impact.com. They're really good. Clickbank.com is good. And also Amazon have an affiliate program as well. Okay. So you just apply, literally, you open an account, a free account, and you go through their list of companies that want to work with people like normal individual people. Whatever products you like I said, if you're a parent, you just had a child or whatever, you might see Mother Care in there, or you might see Johnson's & Johnson's baby lotion or whatever it is. Get an affiliate link from them, whack that in your link in bio, and start posting away. And before you know it, with consistency and over maybe 90 days, so I've seen results within the first 7 days, right? But give it long enough, be persistent, right? Because I know a lot of you guys, you know, you rush. If you don't see results within seconds, you're ready to jump out of an airplane. Like, be calm, take it easy, be persistent and consistent, and I promise you the results will start to show. Okay, now that was the pros and the cons. And like, I'm a big fan of like behold and beware, right? Behold is the opportunity and beware is the danger, what to look out for. And the danger of not being an affiliate, right, is you run the risk of scrolling your phone 4 hours a day, like most people do, and getting zero income generated from it, right? And how many of us would love an extra 100, 200, 300 per week? What difference would that make to your life in 2026, right? So that's the risk that you run, just scrolling, just mindless scrolling, right? Also, another risk is that you're building other people's businesses. You're building other people's views, other people's money, whilst you're still staying stuck in the same position. How does that sound? Does that sound positive? Does that sit right with you? Knowing that you're building all these other people's views, all these other people's money, all their growth, you're fueling it whilst you are staying stuck in the same position. Like, that just don't feel right. Even as I'm saying it, that don't feel right, right? And also it's missed opportunities because there's no skills learned, there's no audience built for yourself, there's no income streams created. Okay, and the reality check is you can scroll and stay broke, or you can scroll with purpose and get paid. Right? I know which one sounds better to me. So in closing, if you heard affiliate marketing before and you've had an idea of it, or this is brand new information, maybe you're like, oh, I like the sound of this. I want to scroll to, I want to get paid to post. And it sounds interesting, then you can go ahead and do research online. The problem about YouTube, like, I'll be honest with you, a lot of this information is free out there in the YouTube world, right? But the problem with YouTube is that it's scattered information, right? So you're going to receive a ton of information, but it's going to be scattered, which then makes your life harder because you have to figure out which part goes where and put all the pieces together, and that confuses the brain even more. Whereas with a structured program like Streets to Legit, it comes with everything step to step so that you can just follow along. Makes your life easier and gets you results quicker, okay? The Streets to Legit is how to transition from streets to legal money in 90 days. It's available in the link in the description box, but it comes with 50 profitable affiliate marketing niches along with a ton of other resources to get started making money through affiliate marketing today, right? Along with a side hustlers checklist, mental toughness technique, and all of these programs are trademarked, right? How to find investment and funding, the start fresh and finally get ahead method, and the start a legit business with zero experience maximizer. It comes with that plus a ton of other bonuses, but how it specifically relates to this affiliate marketing is it comes with 50 profitable affiliate marketing niches, okay? So it's something that's going to allow you to get going real quick, right? So if you got value from this video, drop a comment below. Remember, it's the C1Sho. We're doing really good things. You guys are loving it. You're sending in all your questions. We see everything. We see all of the comments. We see all of the feedback. And as long as you guys love this section of the show, we'll keep continuing to provide different ways where how you can get ahead online and digitize yourself in 2026. So hope you got value. Back to you, C1Sho.
Yeah, so guys, last week, let's take down the tempo. Let's take down the tempo. So guys, last week, I spoke about ego and pride, right? And people said that I was passionate about it and, I was showing emotions and maybe too much. And I just said, listen, I'm going to be passionate when it comes to the ego and the pride and the things that I had to overcome and the bullshit I had to take as a man to overcome my ego and pride to get to where I am today, okay? And if I want to be passionate about it, so what? I don't need to apologize. And this is the strength that I'm showing the youths of today. Don't worry about it. Defeat what you need to defeat, and people are going to say this and pull you left and right. They're all pulling you left and right, and guess what? The blind's leading the blind, okay? Do what you need to do. So anyway, push that to the side. I'm going to go into today family and friendship. Family and friendship. So where do I start? I'm going to start with friendship. That word, as time goes on and I think about this word, okay? I think about the word friendship. I think about the word partnership, and I think about relationship. Everything with that word ship. And what's a ship? Something that floats away, right? A ship is something that floats away. And if you don't put the anchor down to hold on to where you are and the position you're in, it floats away from you. It floats away from you. So friendship, the ship floats away. Relationship floats away. So nowadays, I have acquaintances, I have business partners. Stop using the word brother and calling everyone your brother when they're just your friend. And what the friend, as I said, the end says end. Friendship is something that I did hold dearly to myself. And at this age, as a grown-ass man, with a lot of good people around me, I actually, at 44, found out what friendship was. Friendship isn't people that call you and tell you bad things that know's going to hurt your feelings. Oh, this person's this and that person's that. And why are they so comfortable in telling you? Why are you so comfortable? See, what you got to understand, guys, is that the person that brings you the most information, they say, don't shoot the messenger. Shoot the messenger. yeah. Shoot the messenger. If the person keeps giving you information that could never get to your ears unless it comes through them, you need to get them away from you. Okay? Because they know that saying these things to you are harming you. So realistically, they want to hurt you. They just don't want to do it directly, but they're going to do it indirectly. That is away from a friend that is trying to hurt you indirectly by keep giving you misinformation about people talking negatively about you. Okay? And it's hard sometimes to see that the enemy is right in front of you. It's hard sometimes to see that the enemy is sitting right beside you because you don't want to believe it. Nowadays, I sit down with friends. And you know what I understood friends were now? You know what my friends are now? Hi, C, how are you? How's your kids? What you been up to? Oh, okay. What, you going to do anything nice this weekend? Oh, you know this business, there's a business opportunity for you. We can make some money. Oh, there's a business opportunity. We can make some money. Oh, why don't we take the kids to the cinema? Wow, is this friendship? Now I understand what friendship, not, oh, C, can you do this for me? Oh, C, can let's go and do this to someone. Oh, you know, this side guy said this. You know, this is this. You know, this is that. You know the friends that you say yes 100 times to, and the one time you say no, they don't want to talk to you no more. They don't want to talk to you no more. The one time you've done everything for them 10, 20, 30 times, and the one time you say, I can't do that, you're the worst person in the world. So my eye stays open for these type of friends. And as I said, friendship, the ship just keeps sailing away, and it's okay for them to sail away. So the relationship, the friendship, there's people that will come onto your ship and put holes in your boat to make the ship sink. I've been there, I've seen it myself. So I know I'm not even willing to put the anchor down no more because the ship will sail whenever they want. People can only hurt you that's close to you, right? So friendship is a good thing, and friendships come with convenience. Okay, you have friends that it's convenience. Both of you were single at the time. Both of you like football. Both of you, there's always something that you two might like as well. There's also things that you have the same qualities, you have the same interests. Friendship comes with interests, and I said, and then once those interests change, the ship of friend starts sailing away to somewhere else, to another friend. And these are the type of things that you need to understand. You have to build your circle and stop trying to rely on this friend, because as time goes on and you build your businesses and you're building your life, you will realize that the people that you thought were friends will not even give you a birthday card for your kids. You'll see that people that you called friend won't even support your business. You know I had one of the biggest earphones companies in the world. And I never saw one of my friends not even buy one of them. But you know what they said? Oh, give me one of those earphones. If you have a party, they will always go and book tables at every other club, but when it's your time to come and book your table, when in your party, oh bro, what can't I get VIP for free? I'm warning you guys and the younger generation, people around, don't focus so much on friends, which brings me into the next word, family. Now people say the only thing that makes you, people that think it's not, things that make you family is only blood, but that could also be untrue. It could also be untrue. And I'm going to talk about some deep stuff within brotherhood. But one thing I want everybody to know is that when you come from a certain place and you say to yourself, well, I'm only doing this, whether it's in the streets or whatever you may be doing, I'm only doing it to feed my family. Okay? This is what you say. You say, I'm only doing this to feed my family. I'm only doing this to survive. So when you get once you get 40,000 and you're wearing the Rolex watch and you got a nice car, are you still surviving, or is it really greed? Is this survival now, or is it greed? Because you got the Rolex watch, you got the cars, you got this, you got that, but your mum still lives at the same place. Your mum's still struggling. So let's talk about that. People that don't even know how to treat their mum. I've got older and I feel so guilty and ashamed. Yeah. Because I gave friends and these people so much of my time. I gave them so much money and I didn't give enough to my mother. They say heaven's at your mother's feet, right? They say heaven's at your mother's feet. So we need to do better with our mothers, because our mothers are our superheroes. And because our mothers are our superheroes, we never really think what they're going through or what they had to go through to get us there. And I've heard girls, I hear people say, oh, you know what? My mom's always chatting to me, man, always telling me, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that. If she knew, she should have done better herself. No. If as a parent, you're always going to want to do better You're always going to want to see your kids do better. But we have to love our mothers, especially as sons. Let me tell you why. Because our mothers have been through so much. And whether our mothers even got husbands or their husbands are passed away, we're supposed to be the man that they could never have. Meaning that without all the rest of it, this is the man they always really wanted. We're supposed to be able to look after our mum, protect our mum, make sure our mum don't have to work a day in her life again. Make sure our mum ain't stressing about food in the cupboard while we're in the club busting champagne. Our mum should mean everything to us as men.
No.
Because we are the men that our mums never, we are the men that our mum never got treated right by those other men. And it's your time now to treat your mother right. Your mother's important. And I understand that, and I love my mum to death. And they say that a woman can't grow a real man, but guess what? My mum raised a real man. And there's one thing she prepared me for when I was younger. She always used to say to me, no matter what, see, no matter how scared you are, or no matter how people make you feel, you never let them see you with your head down. You walk past them with your head held high, and when you get around the corner, that's the only time you cry, but you never let them see you cry. And I feel like that prepared me for later on in life for everything that I've been through. My mum, she's a strong woman, and this is what I'm saying about the morals of family, because my mum had lost both her parents by the time she was 23, which means that we was alone. So I experienced death from early. And my other gran, another beautiful woman, a strong woman on my dad's side, she died at 46, which is only 2 years away from me. So I understood death. And I understand the position of power that a woman holds in a family. And us as men, as sons, we need to support our mums the best we can, because one day when they're not here, the family will fall apart. Be happy that your mum's still here. And I know I said it's going to be more about family, but it's also about your brothers. It could also be about your father, because your father has made drastic mistakes. I've made mistakes. And as time goes on, you always defend your mother, but as you get older, you start growing and you start getting into your own relationships and having your own baby mothers and your own kids. You start looking at certain situations that your father might have been in at a certain age and why he wasn't around or why he wasn't strong enough to be able to perform, as the pressures of a black man and the pressure of trying to live life and the pressure of trying to get somewhere in life and the pressure of women. And that ain't me making an excuse. And then me and my brothers and everybody around and friends, as men, I don't like when men say to me, I'm like, oh yeah, but my dad weren't there. And they make this big thing, okay, that their dad weren't there and they didn't have no man in the house, but then they do the same thing to their kids. If you wasn't there, if your dad wasn't there for you, then you should definitely be there for your child. And this is why mums are superheroes. Big up all the single mothers, because you can be a father. It's a choice to be a father, should I say. It's a choice to be a father. But it's not a choice to be a mother. Before a mother puts shoes on her feet, she puts the shoes on her kids' feet. We will go and buy the most expensive trains, not even knowing if our kids have shoes on their feet. Not me personally. But there has been times when I didn't perform the way I was supposed to have performed. People ask me now what is my biggest achievements in life, and the first thing I say, my greatest achievements in life is my children. It's got to be, right? And now I make sure that my mother goes on holiday every year and enjoys all of our family, all 18 of us. My father's a good man. Made a lot of mistakes. We all have. But it's okay to make mistakes. And RIP to everybody that's lost their mother, because their mother is a big part of the puzzle, as I said, of the game of life. Yeah. Life ain't easy, man. And we're all in the same position, as I always say to you. So there's nothing for us to help each other and let the right hand wash the left hand wash the right. There's nothing wrong with people sharing information, because there's so much information on the internet that is there for you to get. If you want to be an astronaut, you can. And that's what I try to do. I try to build my own family now. Instead of going into the friends and using this friend, now I try to use this podcast. This media channel is run by my younger brothers. They are the CEOs of this company, and this is their production of what they feel I should be doing. Sometimes you have to let the young boys take control. Big up KY, Because he always says, and he gives me up to dates of what's going on outside. And sometimes I go even say, you know, and I also want to say, big up, remain relevant, man. This is what we want to see. Yeah. Big up him. You know why? Because he calls out the bullshit how it is. And a lot of people don't like it. But when you really see the message behind what he's talking about, he's exposing the people that are hypocrites and do things the wrong way. I've never seen him call out a man that's just a roadman that's never been on the internet before, and he's just putting his face there. He puts their face out there when they've been doing the wrong thing. And he understands, to be fair, not like rest of these guys. Guys present, this is what I think is crazy about things, right? You know, I'm not even going to go into it. We're going to stick by, and we're going to leave this show by praying and trying to be better people. And I'm not saying this like, oh yeah, power to the people, let's all just be peacemakers. I'm just going to leave this with something that I learned again. If we want to be the best businessmen in the world, the fastest runners, the best footballers, have the best businesses, have the most money, be the best rapper, be the best actor. Men are very competitive alpha males, right? Then we should want to be the best son, the best fathers, the best brothers, the best uncles. Let's try and be the best at everything. Let's not leave things out. Because at the end of the day, this is the things that I've had to tell myself, that I want to be the best at everything. I work so hard and I fight against everybody fighting against me. But ultimately, I still got to keep fighting to make sure that I am the best father and I'm the best son I can be. Because I've let my family down in many ways, and we all have. Because now I have kids on my own, I think about the things that I put my family through and my mother through, and I'm like, well, I'd hate to go through that. So I leave you with this. The life's one big game. And it depends on you how you play it. But whatever way you play it, make sure you play to win. It's a C1Sho, man. Show! Peace.
This is a roll light, could only lead to no light. This is a roll light, could only lead to no light.
Let me break it down. Hustling on the street corners, late nights, always on edge. No one really cares about you. Fake friends, fake people all around.